Hi, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations, and as usual, I have way overcommitted myself, and yeah. So, basically, this car right here is stone soup. I'll go into that in a second. But I have today to finish this project. So I bought a 1969 Dodge Charger in Montana, and I found an estate sale I want to go to on Friday as well. And basically, I need to bring this car to Spokane tonight, which is 6 hours away. And I promised to do the entire fuel system. And I have like 2 hours to do it. So let's see if we can do it. But first, let me tell you some background on this car. So for those that don't know or don't watch Dead Dodge Garage, Jamie's channel, this is Project Stone Soup. The owner is Vic. He's in Dayton, Ohio, and he runs a YouTube channel called Functional History. He's making models of cars for people, and he does some very cool stuff. But this is his project, and the genesis of this project was he wanted a car to bring to the No Name Nationals, which is a YouTube event in, I don't even know where it is. It's in the Midwest somewhere. It's a long ways away from me. But he wanted to have a car, basically have YouTubers work on it across country, and then be able to race this thing at the No Name Nationals. So guy Scott in Spokane donated this car to the project, and it got over to my place, and then ended up at Jamie's over at Dead Dodge Garages, who's an hour west of me, and now it's at my place, and I promised to do the fuel system on it. So I have a new fuel tank. That's for a 63. This is a 62. I don't think the filler neck's gonna work, and I need a fuel pump, and I need to replace all the lines, and we have to leave in like 2 hours to deliver this thing to Spokane, because I promised I'd do it, and this trip happened all of a sudden last night, and yeah. So basically, if I don't finish this, I'm gonna lose the shop. All right, let's bring this turd in the shop. Luckily, I have a lift that makes this way easier. All right, and the other thing I forgot to mention is I play rec adult basketball, and I'm pretty sure I cracked a rib last night, so I can't really lift or anything or lift my left arm. So good times. All right, Jamie, want to see if this thing will start?
Sure.
So Jamie's the one that got this running. They thought the Slant 6 was locked up. It was not, and Jamie's amazing, so he got it running, and it kind of sort of runs. It's a 1962, 62, right?
Yes.
62 Dodge Lancer with a Slant 6. It currently has an electric fuel pump with a system under the tank, and you know, you can't drag race that way. We need to put a proper gas tank in this thing. Also a 3-on-3, which is kind of neat. It's a stick. As Jamie says, it starts, it's everything after that that's a little sketchy. Kind of sort of runs. He's only killed it twice so far. Turn the headlights on, or if that was a random electrical gremlin.
Just open the hood here. There you go.
Yeah, hood hinges are a nice accessory to a vintage Mopar. Ooh, Jamie got rid of the 1920, which he did a video on, and you should go watch the video of him getting rid of the 1920. He went all office space on it, which involved a very large sledgehammer, because 1920s are the bane of all of our existence, and are terrible, and you should never run one. All right, now we're gonna cheat and go up in the lift. And look how bad underneath this thing is. Which I'm guessing is pretty bad. I love these cars. These are kind of the last of the forward look. 62 is kind of half considered a forward look, but kind of has the side fin on it. These are just kind of very funky, ugly looking cars. Is it supposed to have a rocker, or is that just extra? Don't answer that question. All right, so we don't think there's much gas in the tank, so I'm not gonna worry about that. So I'm gonna take the filler off first, at least the screws here before we drop the tank. And then normally I don't like hackery, but we're just gonna cut all the rubber lines on this because I'm assuming they're all toast anyways. Yeah, this thing is a fine machinery. Piece of machinery? Piece of machinery? I can't even talk. All right, I just realized we kind of need to get in the trunk to finish this, and we can't get in the trunk.
Why am I always the crawl through the back seat guy?
I nominate Jamie. What do you guys think? Okay, so the thing is, if you don't have a key, sometimes it just opens. Ah! It's really heavy and I almost just slammed my finger in there.
Don't do that.
Oh, they took that off. Oh,
No.
no, they didn't take it off. It just rusted out.
Mother Nature took it off.
Mother Nature took care of this.
Okay.
No, there is a spare. That's good to know.
Oh, more hood hinges. Look at that.
Huh. All right. Well, let's get working on this tank. So Jamie was smart and already sprayed it for me. Appreciate that. You want to make sure these threads are completely clean before you do this. And generally what I do is I use my electric impact on full and full send. Like, you do not want to stop. Once you start, you just go. There's just one strap on these, which is a little sketchy, but I need to get the rest of the stuff apart to get it ready to go. So I gotta figure out where the sending unit is. I think it's on the side. Yeah, okay. And cut the rubber lines and then make sure the filler's ready to come out. Okay, so just backing off for a minute. Just want to give you a little tour of the car underneath. It's got a 7/4 rear end. Look at that cute little exhaust. Look at that guy. He's little. Yeah, muffler looks like about what you think it would look like. It's actually not as rusty underneath as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's not nice, but... Well, I take that back. You can see the brake pedals to the floor pan. It's not great. It's not East Coast rusty. It's West Coast rusty. Good old torsion bar suspension. I've seen worse, but they're usually parts cars. Sorry, Vic. This thing's beautiful. I would love to have it. Something like that. 13-inch wheels. Small bolt pattern, of course. That's right lug. Yep, still left lug on here too. Oh, that's still original. Yeah, she's beauty. Well, let's see if we can have it not run off a gas can in the tank. That's the goal for today. But as I said, we have limited time. And the sending unit's kind of piled up there. So I'm gonna go through, get some dikes, and just cut the fuel lines because it'll just be easier. And I'll put fresh line on it because I don't trust any of the rubber on this car. It's ancient and it's just gonna crack and break. I'm really hoping the lines are empty because if they're not, it's gonna be the grossest smelling stuff you've ever seen in your life. Let's see how it goes. All right, because I'm super good at things and stupid, I ordered a tank without a sending unit. And apparently there's multiple differences on these tanks, but I think that's the biggest one. So the sending unit's on the side, on this one it's in the back. So the sending unit's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go back to the sending unit pile and see if I have an early A-body unit. Because if I don't, I am pretty much screwed here. Which, you know, we're gonna lose the shop. All right, just did some half-assed internet research and found out that luckily the 63 to 76 A-body sending unit are all the same. So I probably have one. Off to the Horde. We're just over in that building somewhere. So welcome to the Horde. We kind of have a joke around here that when we get parts or people give stuff to us for free, it's added to the machine. Yeah. What's the first step of addiction recovery? Saying you have a problem. So much stuff. All right, here's the sending unit pile. I found a picture of one online, so I just need to find one that's close. I think we have a winner right here. It's got two 90-degree bends at the end, short arm. Some I've seen the top bends a little bit different direction, but we have to modify the lines anyways to make this work. So, all right, here we go. I even found a sock too, so I think that'll work. I just got to get a float, but I carry those. We use those all the time around here. Fortunately, I think that's a 3/8 sock, so it's not going to work because it just fell off. Okay, I've got socks. We'll figure this out. Did you know that we sell reproduction parts? Mostly on eBay. Most of the stuff we carry here is like stuff we use in the shop all the time. But one thing we always carry are socks for sending units, because we always need them. And these are kind of cool. They actually fit 3/8 and 5/16 line. They have double row of catchers in there, so they work really well. And then our floats right here. because Vic, nothing but the best for you. I'm gonna clean up that end a little bit and test it. But the thing is, what people don't really understand is the reprocessing sending units are kind of garbage. They do work, they do function, but they never read right. They're based on a Ford scale, so the ohms are off compared to a Mopar, so they just don't read right. They're always low. Anytime I get in a muscle car and it's full at 3/4 tank, I always know that, oh, they put a reprocessing sending unit in it. I mean, I hoard everything, but this is a particular reason why I hoard these, because when we're doing restorations, we really try to put stock sending units in, because I don't know, I'm definitely OCD, but I hate it when my fuel gauge doesn't read right. So here we go. All right, taking this thing down to try to get the filler grommet out of the trunk, and it works better when the air's on, because the locks on my lift are air locks. Yeah, we always turn the air off at night, so if there's any leaks in the lines, the compressor doesn't run overnight. All right, time to get in the trunk. So this obviously isn't my car, it's Vic's car, but one of my favorite things to do after getting car home is to go through the trunk. My buddy Colin and I used to part out cars in the early 2000s, and we call them trunk treasures, because you open the trunk and you never know what you're gonna find. All right, what the heck is that?
I don't know. I think it might have been stolen. I think it might have been stolen from a bowling alley, though.
Yeah, see, Jamie does a lot of edits in his videos because he can't talk. I'm not gonna edit that out.
Thanks.
So in 6061, I think these had a toilet bowl, but you can see the hole there. That was so they could have it earlier. They must use the same underskin. All right, so now what we're gonna do is attempt to get that grommet out, because in my experience with these, the absolute hardest part is getting the filler in and out. So I got the screws off the quarter panel, but I gotta get the vent line off here real quick, and then take that out. Because trying to pull the tank and pull the filler, I've found is just a complete pain in the butt. So I'm gonna try to take the filler out now. I may regret this and go back the other way, but let's see what happens. All right, I changed my mind. I'm gonna try to pull the tank and pull the filler out, and I'm probably gonna fail miserably and have to go back in here, but these screws are pretty solid in there, and I wanna take out the vent line. It will simplify things quite a bit, but as I said, getting it back in can be a huge challenge, so let's see what happens. All right, let's try to drop the tank, see what happens here. So a little top tip, one thing I've learned over the years, Evan came up with this one, is to use a tranny jack to hold the gas tank up, because if it's full, it's super heavy and super awkward to take down, and you're gonna get covered in junk. But the other part is, you know, I probably have a cracked rib right now and I can't really lift anything. So I'm gonna use that. And then once you get it on there, it's a little trickier with the side straps, because you kind of have to put it back here so it's off the straps when you take it down, but it kind of just takes the weight off, and then you can go down with the tranny jack and kind of slowly get it to the ground safely. Because I'm me, I have to add some random Mopar trivia. So this is the 7 1/4 rear end, but see that plug right there? That's the same plug they used on Max Wedge intakes. So if you ever have a part 7 1/4 or one that you're throwing away, or one in a junkyard, pull those. They use 6 to cover the bolt holes on a Max Wedge cross ram intake. All right, so this thing's already up. The car's too high, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit to make this a little easier with the tranny jack. All right, so we got the tranny jack up against it. You don't want it tight because you're on a 2-post lift. You don't want to upset the car. You just want to get it here, and you got to have it basically as far forward as you can to support it, but have the strap be loose, because obviously the strap's got to come off. All right, luckily on this one, a lot of them, sometimes you can't even get the wrench in there because the strap's kind of around the bolt. This one's a little bit easier, but as I mentioned earlier, full send on this. So I've got my trusty DeWalt impact. It's got 1 to 3, put it on 3 on reverse, and once you start, do not stop. All right, great success, other than I'm covered in dirt and undercoating and rat turds from this car. All right, straps out. This is still supporting it, so I'm gonna drop the thing and see if I can get the filler out. And as I said, I haven't had very good luck doing this. I may have to pull the filler, but I'm gonna see if I'm at least try to do it, because it'll save me a couple steps if I can do it. All right, let's get the strap out of the way, and we'll lower the tranny jack. It's decided it wants to come out of the trunk, so now I have to go back down and get the vent line out. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do it. And this is what I get for being lazy. I didn't take the filler out, so now it's stuck on that grommet up there, so now I do have to take that grommet out. I know better. All right, go let the car down and get in the trunk, because the tank's just kind of chilling there. Remember when I said I was saving time? I'm not. Now I made this way worse. Now the vent line's over there and I gotta take the vent light off and still take the grommet off. Because I'm an idiot. Do it right the first time. Take the filler neck loose first and take the grommet off.
It's the same grommet.
Of course, in the great tradition of Rocket, Jamie spends 2 seconds and gets it out. Okay, let's see if the filler will work, because it does have a grommet, but I don't know if the filler's the right size.
Wow, why does that look like
Why does it look like what?
hammered rat shit?
Because it probably is.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. Oof. That was the one thing I was really worried about. So I think we're okay. I think this is gonna work. All right, but saying that, remember how I said I found a sitting unit? It's completely wrong. I don't know where Jamie put it, but I need to go find the right sitting unit because the one I picked out was wrong. Don't worry about that. It's not a problem. Just a little rusty. The one thing I will say about this is it doesn't smell nearly as bad as most of the ones I've done. I'm not sure if I can save that pad or not. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, especially on my 78 Trail Duster, that thing smelled awful. Most of the gas must have boiled out this years ago over in Spokane in the hot summers. So I got that going for me. All right, back to the Horde, because that was totally not the right sitting unit. It has the two 90-degree bends, but it's a little bit too long for an A-body one, so. All right, continue to dig. There has to be one in here somewhere, right? As far as unorganized as I am, actually, a few things are fairly well organized. Sitting units happens to be one of them. At least they're all in the same bin. Why is it when you're looking for something, it's always the last one in the bin? I went through 50 sitting units, and I'm pretty sure we found the right one here. Let me go double check. Let me go fit it in the tank, but that really looks right to me. Whew, okay. All right, on this one, they actually look pretty good. So I'm just gonna keep the sock and float in here because I'm pretty sure they're both good. We're gonna have to jump the fuel line over from the frame rail over to the tank, which means we might not be able to run a ground strap on it, but I'm pretty sure none of the gauges work in this anyways.
I'm so confused.
So Jamie totally lost the lock ring, but again, hoarder. I got like 10 of these on the shelf, so we're just gonna pick another one, and the other one will show up as soon as I get the tank in, because that's the way this stuff works. All right, sending it in first, and then I'll try to get the filler in, which is by far the worst part of this job. So normally I'd probably restore this before I put it in, but it blows through. The float looks good, the sock looks good, and you know what? I'm just gonna throw it in there. It's original plating. If you blast it, you lose the original plating. So I do wanna cut that line off, and then, and the other thing about these, or the reproduction lock rings, are complete garbage. So if you have your original one, I would definitely reuse that if you can. They don't sit right, and they don't lock in right. All right, we're about an hour into this, and we're making decent progress, but I still have a long ways to go. Okay, so now we're gonna put in this in a unit, and what you wanna make sure is, my phone won't focus here, but there's a tab there and a tab there on the sitting unit, and they line up with the tank right there. That's how you set it in the place where it's supposed to be, because the sock's, of course, supposed to be on the bottom of the tank. So you just fish it in like that. Gotta get the float to cooperate. And then get the gasket in there, and then line up the tanks. And then once you get that on there, this goes on right there. So right there, that's got a step on it. So you put it in like that, and then you can, there's actually a tool for this, which I had, but can't find, or you can just use a screwdriver. Just use a flathead right there and hammer it in. I need 2 hands for this, so I can't film it, but that's. So one thing you gotta be careful of when you do this, I've got it mostly seated, but when you hammer on it using a screwdriver, instead of using the right tool, which I should be using, it'll move it this way. So what I do is I hammer it here, and then hammer on this side so it goes back and forth. So you see how that's kind of a little bit over there? So next time right there, I'm gonna hammer it that way so it stays centered and gets completely locked in. All right, sitting unit in. And the nice part is you can actually get to this one. So on the original tank, you pretty much have to install the fuel line first because you can't get to it. On this one, you can actually get to it on the back. It's really a much better design. All right, so now I gotta get the filler in there. And as much as I wanna just stick this thing in there, I'm gonna at least try to clean it out a little bit so we're not getting, you know, a brand new tank full of rust. I'm not gonna do a lot of work here, but I'm at least gonna put some WD in there and try to clean it out a little bit. All right, this is good enough, right? All the rust flying out. The top doesn't look so bad. The bottom, not so much. I just basically kind of scraped it out with a wire brush It's better than what it was. All right, so I'm trying to put this thing in, and I would recommend a lot of lube. Lube is your friend, because it's a tight fit. That's what she said. All right, that was by far the easiest filler I ever put in. It just popped right in there. Again, lube is your friend. Lube is your friend. It's probably not quite as tight as you'd want it, but that's pretty good. So I don't know if that's the grommet, but I don't know. Every other one I've ever tried to put in has fought me tooth and nail. So, but that one went right in. So we're good. So filler's in, and I'm gonna get some lunch and probably let the dog out. Okay, so again, this is where you want a tranny jack. So you put that on there and lift it up into the car. We here at Rocker Restorations love reusing original parts. So I'm gonna reuse that because I don't have another one to put in. It really is just kind of a vibration thing. It'll be fine. Trust me. But as easy as that filler came in, I probably should just put it in from the top, but you know, I'm not gonna do that. And cue to about 5 minutes from now where I do that. But I'm gonna try to do it this way first. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in from the top. See how big that is? How small that hole is? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I pulled it out from the top when I pulled it out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this out and put it in from the bottom. On most of these, they are so hard to do, I would not suggest doing that. But since this one went in pretty easily, that's how I'm gonna do this one. All right, so filler neck's out. So now we're gonna go up. Just FYI, we get our gas tanks and fuel stuff from Vans Auto. They're a direct importer. It's all coming from Taiwan. It is what it is. It's what's available out there. Everybody sells the same tank. There's Spectra, there's a bunch of other ones. A lot of people sell them. Vans is a direct importer. They tend to have the best prices. We also have a wholesale account through them, so we get a pretty good deal on this stuff. This tank still wasn't cheap. It was almost 200 bucks for this tank, but you know, it is what it is. What's you gonna do? You gonna clean that thing out? Nah. We're putting a brand new tank in with more capacity. I just hope it fits because it's a completely different shape. Jamie thinks it'll be fine. Let's do this. Fortunately, I can't really film this because I need multiple hands to do this. So I will be back in a second. Okay, another tip here. You need to put it in while it's up, because once it's up, you won't be able to get it in. It's because it's inside the quarter panel. So you have to do it at a kind of a crazy angle, get it in now. So I gotta get the thing, get up on a ladder, shove it in while Jamie holds the tank so it doesn't fall off. Let's see how this goes. Here we go. Just remember, everything goes better with lube. Everything. So that's where the hanger for the tank strap goes. The entire frame was full of mouse nest. To be noted for future. It's interesting the frame rail's lap too. Actually not a, it's a two-piece that they welded. It's interesting. The other cars aren't like that. All right, so the tank fits in there. The problem is the groove's in a different spot. It's a little further forward and has a super short J-bolt. So what I'm gonna try to do is go into my stash and see if I can find a longer J-bolt, because we got it where it's like half an inch away, but I need just a little bit more. So I'm gonna see if I can find a longer one, because this one's pretty short. So back to the Horde. I've got a bunch of tank straps up there, hoping there's a J-bolt, because I remember I just sold one to my friend Ula in Florida, and I hope there's more up there. Yay, original bolts. Problem is I don't think I can do it by hand. So that's what the later one looks like. This is the earlier one, but see the size difference there? I can actually show it on film here. That's like twice as long. We will not have a problem putting it together when I get that on. I was trying to do this in my rafters next door and it was pretty stuck. Remember the conversation earlier about full sending it? So now I'm putting in the vise, strapping it, a little bit of lube, and the impact. Hopefully it doesn't come out of the vise when I do this. All right, mission accomplished. Now time to get this tank in. All right, that's much longer, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get this now. Let's see where it goes.
I'm hearing a lot of bad words from over here, so here. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
I do get hangry. And we have a tank in the car. It only hits the shock and the frame rail, but I think we're okay. I'm leaving the Made in Taiwan sticker on it. Somebody else wants to take that off, you're more than welcome to. All right, 4 grommet in, and then we gotta get the vent line back on there, and that's totally wasted, so I need to go find some new line, and then screw the filler back in the quarter panel. And we have an installed tank, but I'm kind of running out of time, so I was really hoping to have this run off a tank today. I hope we have enough time to do that. Have I mentioned I way overcommit myself to stuff and have way too much to do? You know. All All right, so hitch had to change for that. Now we gotta get the open trailer hooked up because I'm bringing home a charger that literally couldn't fit in the enclosed anyways. And then Evan got a chop saw, so we gotta get the chop saw off too. And change the spare tire back on the trailer, and finish stone soup and running off a gas tank. And I want to leave in like an hour. So the vent line's over there, goes into there on the nipple and the filler, and then that when you fill it up, the air goes through there. On the more modern cars, it goes to a charcoal canister in the front. On this, it just goes to the atmosphere. So this is kind of a neat tool we've had for a while. So these are the original Corbin clamps that were on there. So these are actually a pair of pliers for Corbin clamps. Picked up a couple of these over the year. They're really handy. Makes it easy to put on. So you don't really have solid fuel really going there ever unless you like super overfill the tank. So the Corbin clamps will be fine. All right, tops it done. Chrome it in, vent line on, and screwed back the core panel. Now I'm gonna see if I can find a gas cap anywhere because I don't want to have all this hard work be run by water getting in the tank. This is the smaller version of the Rocket Restorations Horde. This is stuff that's actually in boxes. Not in order, mind you, but it's in boxes. So I need to find the gas cap pile. There's the oil cap pile. Switches, a whole box of 100 voltage limiters for the dash. Those are kind of neat. Bumper guards. I've been to this stash 100,000 times. I can still never find the box I need. Gas caps. There it is. Maybe. Let's go try the fit. It's also chrome. I'm gonna leave it dirty so it matches the patina. All right, this one doesn't fit at all. Yeah, it's way smaller. All right, let's try something else. All right, I just bought the whole box this time. It's an E-body one. And I'm not gonna use that on this car. Hey, found my stash of J-bolts. I didn't know where they were. So far, all of these are too big because it's a very unique, really A-body. How does that even work? Unfortunately, most of these are too big. They just don't quite fit. I could just put a charger flip-top cap on this. It would solve most of my problems. I'm not doing that. All right. So after all that, we're gonna go back to the first one. It's a loose fit, but it's the only one that will actually fit the hole. So when you turn it, it kind of sort of holds in place. You might want to get a new gas cap, Vic, just FYI. But that will plug the hole for the time being because all of these are too big. None of them fit. Stashes like this are why people bring stuff to Rocket Restorations, because we have the parts and this is how we put cars together. Ooh, NOS ignition and NOS turn signal switches. All right, so next step here, other than Jamie ruining stuff, is I have to take that line and go to there. So, and I don't see any way to ground that, so I'm just not doing that right now because I don't have enough time to deal with it. But make a mental note for later. I know the list is long, but if you want a working fuel gauge, you probably have to ground that. And I'm not going to run metal line because I don't have time. Another thing good to know is if you're going to use fuel line, use the barricade stuff. This stuff's a little bit more expensive, but I'll actually hold up the ethanol. And honestly, I probably wouldn't use it on this car other than it's what I have here, so it's what we're going to use. I don't have any other 5/16ths. So, and we're going to run a little bit more line than I like to. So we're going to use this. All right, time to measure, cut, and get it in. So this is a perfect example of why we can't have nice things. So on the tank, it goes to the side, so it's bolted to the frame rail there. I can't get a freaking hose on it because the hose has to come back towards me. So what I'm gonna do is it's bolted on there. I'm just gonna unbolt that, get it loose, then I should be able to get the hose on and run it. So the plan was to do the fuel tank and the fuel pump today, but I'm just out of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unhook the line for the fuel pump and then hook up Jamie's electrical pump to that so we can run it off the tank, but just run it to that. So somebody else will have to do the fuel pump. A lot of stuff is well engineered on a Slant 6. Doing the fuel pump, not easy. You're behind the distributor. I'm just trying to take the line off. I can't even do that. Little tip when getting fuel lines off. Try and cut the lines. When they're aging like this, they're not gonna come off the line. So if you cut it enough, it'll generally come off. By the way, when I came in here, Jamie mentioned that it didn't roll very well on its own. I wonder why. Yeah, that's tire rub on leaf springs. You might want to find some actual small bolt wheels for this thing. I gotta look around. I might have one because that offset is not working. And that's kind of dangerous. Yeah, mental note. Don't drive in the street. All right, finally off. That fought way too hard. So I'm just gonna hook up Jamie's fuel pump, but one thing I forgot to do is to blow out the line. So we're gonna take the line back off the sending unit. There's always really bad, nasty gas in here. You wanna blow that out because you don't want that going through the carb. All right, so note to future people. I'm gonna hook up the electric fuel pump right now to the main fuel line. So it will be there. And then you just gotta put a new fuel pump on, which I'll show you in a second. I have a new fuel pump for it, so that needs to get hooked up and make this thing fully functional, but I don't have time to finish this. So here we go. All right, now we fill. I had ethanol free, I ran out, so this is gonna be ethanol gas. So just FYI everybody. You're not gonna die from ethanol gas, but I really like using ethanol free when I can and this kind of stuff. But the car's gonna be moving a lot and running a lot, so it'll go through it. All right, put about a gallon in. Let's see if this thing will work. Dinky gas cap. It follows the theme. That's the fuel pump. No gas yet.
Yeah, you're probably gonna need more than a gallon there.
Probably need more gas in the tank. I only put about a gallon in. Hope I have enough gas. Well, it's not pulling gas for some reason. I put about 2 gallons in, but sometimes you gotta put 3, but unfortunately that's about all the gas I have around here. I'm gonna try to pour a little bit more in and see if that's enough, because the problem is you gotta fill an empty tank, get it up to the sending unit, and fill up all the lines. It's quite a bit of fuel. And these electric pumps are not good at pulling dry. They like to be primed first. All right, so we blew a little pressure in the tank to get it up top. So we're gonna see if the fuel pump will pick up now. Apparently I didn't blow out the line that well because it really stinks in here now.
There she is.
There we go. Pulling gas. Nice.
Yeah.
You always hear the electric fuel pump, they change their tune.
Don't love the color.
I did blow out the line, but not super well apparently.
It's clean now. Did I start it?
Yeah, see if it starts.
Already.
Everyone's off a gas tank! Yay! That's a victory. I know I didn't quite finish what I wanted to do today, but I'm calling that a victory.
You gotta turn the key off.
So I'm not gonna lose the shop?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hey, come check out what I did while you were doing all that.
That joke's getting old. What did Jamie do?
Jamie made a magic odometer, speedometer thing happen.
Ooh.
I know.
So we can keep track of the miles that the car goes?
Yeah, this came from Junkyard D. They wanted it installed in the back window, but yeah, I couldn't do that. Anyway, it's here, and I fixed the cigar lighter, so at least it should do something, as long as it doesn't kill the battery on the road.
There we go. Which it might, but
I think I donated that.
it has jump boxes. All right, I'm calling this a victory. So Evan's finishing putting the trailer together. I think we're good to go. So now we're gonna load this thing. Although, let me see if I can find some rollers to the back. Remember that orange Jamie gave me like 2 hours ago? I'm finally gonna eat it. Now Jamie's welding an engine bay that we just sprayed gas all over, so. This might be the last time you see Dead Dodge Garage, Jamie.
It'll be fine.
Well, the trend signal actually works. All right, and it died again.
No, the throttle's stuck.
What was about that 1920? All right, let's get this thing loaded.
Something.
I think we're gonna winch it up.
There's no...
And because I'm super good at stuff, I missed Jamie going on. Hey, she did a pretty good job. No burnouts. Didn't hit the trailer or anything. All right, we just dropped Stone Soup off at Scott at Heaven's Mopars in Spokane, Washington. And we're off to our next adventure. We're gonna go buy a Charger tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thanks everybody for watching. Stone Soup's on its way. Thanks. This is Tom with Rocket Restorations. We'll talk to you soon.